everyone, I'm Ashley Eckstein, voice of Ahsoka Tano from Star Wars The Clone Wars. And we are here in beautiful Marin County at Big Rock, where they make Star Wars The Clone Wars. Wouldn't you love to work here? It's amazing. And I'm about to take you inside to give you an exclusive sneak peek and talk to the creators about the making of our show. So come on, let's go. In a nutshell, tell us what the executive producer does.
Basically, we're the ones who's responsible for the entire production. We're responsible for the budget, we're responsible for the schedule, we're responsible for hiring and all of that type of stuff. So we're the ones on the hook to make sure that the show gets done to the quality the studio wants for the price, as well as for the time and the schedule, so that we can honor our air dates to our broadcast partners and all that type of stuff. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. But what I love about it is the fact that I get to deal with artists and executives and network executives and heads of studios, and I just get to sort of keep my fingers in a lot of different pies and have my feet in a lot of different camps, and that's sort of part of the challenge of it, but what's also really cool.
Supervising director of Star Wars The Clone Wars, right here. This was originally a comic book by our dear friend Henry Gilroy.
Yeah.
Hi, Henry. So tell us about that.
Henry wrote the comic books as if they took place early in the Clone Wars, when Ahsoka was very young and when Ventress was still Dooku's apprentice. There were a lot of things in the comic books that we couldn't recreate because we've got to make it fit with the current series and where we are in the timeline and what Ahsoka's like now. She's kind of different in tone. Ventress can't be there. We've got to take her out of the story. And he and I discussed what we could do, and we had to rewrite it to fit the series. And what Henry Gilroy brings to the table is that he understands we're going to deliver great action set pieces, so he sets us up for them really well. He loves throwing a creature in there for the Jedi to get entangled with. He loves, putting them in very precarious situations, knowing that we'll get inspired to really make those scenes great. And he tells a great story through action.
These are all the fans of the Clone Wars.
Great, how you doing? Very nice to meet you.
Yeah, we're giving them a sneak peek, a behind-the-scenes look at the making of our show.
That sounds great. Basically, what I do is we get the animation from overseas. I'll look at all the animation on the show across all 3 studios that we have and give notes. We usually have about 80 to 100 shots a day. Give notes on all that and try and make sure that it all kind of is continuity, works throughout the episode so that Ahsoka maintains the character she needs to maintain, and that as she's going, she is growing and stuff. So trying to make sure that that kind of stays in place, and then any sort of notes that we have on her performance or how she's actually acting.
Wow.
So there's a lot of different animators on the show for sure. Overall, there's probably about 80 animators or so that are actually creating the show on a weekly basis.
There's her smirk.
Exactly. That's the key Ahsoka look.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Of course.
Thank you
Thanks
for your
so
time.
much for coming in. Appreciate it.
And let's continue our tour. Come on. Oh, here in the design room at Big Rock. Just whip this up. Just a day's work, I'm here with lead designer Killian Plunkett. He taught me how to do this. Not really, but it looks good, right? So, Killian, tell us what we are looking at here.
Well, none of these are my doing. These are all sculpts by Darren Marshall of the various different Zygerrian characters that appear throughout the arc. This one here is interesting because it's the first pass that Darren did, and it's slightly more monstery than what they ultimately ended up looking like. The first sort of iteration was a bit more like a bat than a cat, but Dave sort of felt that they should be slightly more humanistic.
So you guys get direction from Dave, and then literally from scratch, you literally create these characters from
Pretty
nothing.
much, yeah. We got about 6 days to go from a blank sentence of what it might be to a final design. They had appeared in the comics, but we knew that we wanted to do something that was very slightly different to their appearance when they were first published in their comic book form, to make them slightly more animalistic and also slightly more unique, so that there was no way you would think this was a Mandalorian or a Twi'lek. I mean, they're very definitely their own species.
Great. Well, Killian, thank you so much
Sure.
for your time, and fascinating stuff here.
Yeah, nice work, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just whipped it up.
Unhand me, brigand!
All right, we are here in one of the screening rooms at Big Rock with Joel Aaron, the CG lighting and effects supervisor for Star Wars The Clone Wars. And Joel, tell us what we're doing here.
We're reviewing shots that come in from the studios that do the lighting. And what we're seeing is we're actually seeing all of it come together. So we're seeing the models that you've been seeing, the textures you've been painting, the designs, everything come together. And what we do in this theater, and my job is to make sure that we're following kind of the theme of the lighting.
So this shot that we're about to watch, tell us about it, and what are we looking for?
Well, what we're looking for here is this is going to be a reveal. So here we need to see Ahsoka looking beautiful. We need to see this reveal of her, and also light it to a degree that it looks like you could stop on any frame and it's a painting.
Unhand me!
And stop here.
Oh, wow.
So here, a trick we'll always do is always keep the light over the dark so you have a better silhouette, and then the dark over the light. We light this more like you would in a movie than a CG show where things are just lit. It starts with Dave actually kicking off what we call lighting concept. And we'll go ahead and we'll pick a frame from the episode and we paint over that. We have our lighting concept guys that do a paint over, and we direct at that point how the lighting's supposed to be. So fast forward to handing that lighting concept to the studio and working with the studio with the general theme of saying, we need a light here, here's where the main light source is. I'll definitely want to see it one side of her face in light, one side in shadow, and we get more cinematic that way.
Wow, well, it looks beautiful. I mean, the final result is amazing. Well, that's it here for us today at Big Rock. I hope you enjoyed your behind-the-scenes look at the making of our show. I may do the voice of Ahsoka, but as you can see, it takes an army of people to bring our show to life. So thanks again, and may the Force be with you.